Hi, Chris Lawrence here, and what I'm going to talk about is packing for ski touring, specifically for the Haute Route. I've got a couple of trips going this spring, and some of my clients are interested to know what I'm bringing and if it's all going to fit into a pack and that kind of thing. So starting with my 35-liter pack, I think for a client on a trip, probably 30 to 35 is fine. For the guide, 35 to 40. I'm stretching the 35 a little bit because I have a few extra things that I need to bring. So right now this pack is empty. It's got a good solid hip belt. It's got a good sternum strap. So quite a bit of rigidity and stiffness in the back, and it's got a lid with pockets on both sides, so lots of storage. Some excellent straps for putting skis on the side when we have to boot pack, and some good ice axe straps. So the first thing I pack is my first aid kit. So this is a fairly beefy first aid kit. It's got things like SAM splits in it, and oral airways and nasal airways and things like that. And in terms of what clients should bring, probably just some blister pads and some ibuprofen and that kind of thing would be plenty. So that goes at first into my pack because it's the thing I'm least likely to use. The next thing for a group of 5 is going to be one guide and 4 clients. I'm going to have 2 30-meter ropes. So I'm going to be carrying one of them. This is quite light. It's the Lasport, the Petzl rad line, and it's a 6mm rope. It's just going to sit in there. We'll be using that to rope up on some of the climbs. The next thing that goes in is my shelter. It's a 4-person shelter. It's called it's a Rab Bothy, and you can sit underneath that with a group of 5. It's pretty compact sill tarp type material, and that may come out at lunchtime or be used as a survival style shelter. Just the guide needs that one. This is actually a 1-person bivvy sack. It's made out of foil type material. It's actually it's a bivvy sack. You can climb right into it. It's got that reflective type stuff. They're about $30. It's made by a company called SOL, Survive Sol. I don't know what it stands for, but anyway, they're about $30, and it's a really good item for each individual person to have. Worst case scenario, if you have to spend the night out. Okay, so next thing I've got, this is a liner for sleeping. It's made of silk. It's a little bit more pricey than the cotton versions. It's also more compact and lightweight. That's why it's more pricey. Silk travel liner, Mech sells them. I think they're over $100, but you can certainly just take an old sheet and sew it together. And the cabans or the huts all provide comforters or duvets with a pillow. So what we're going to need to have is one of these to separate ourselves, and that's normal for alpine huts in Europe. Just have a barrier between you and the duvet cover, which probably doesn't get washed all season, right? So you want to be in your own personal space in there for health reasons. And this year we're going to need to bring a pillowcase as well. My liner also has a pocket to put the pillow in, which I think is perfectly adequate. So slide that in there, nice and compact. I also have I have a 6-layer outerwear setup for my upper body because I get cold. So this is my lightest down jacket, which for the most of the trip will never get used. Unless it's really stormy, this is going to be in the bottom of my pack. It's very compressible, right at the back, away from my back there. We have normal avalanche safety gear with the probe and the shovel. I'm bringing my very lightest weight shovel and probe and transceiver. Those are your 3 essential pieces of kit. So the shovel blade is going to go right against the back. Should probably put that in first. Just slides right in there. And the handle goes on one side against the back, and the probe pole goes on the other side against the back, keeping heavy things as close to my center of gravity as possible. This one here is just, it's kind of what I call my crash kit. It's part of my first aid kit. It's got some bleed bandages, compression bandages, but also things like blister care stuff right in there. It's a little easier to get at than my bigger first aid kit. Okay, so if we're starting the tour in the morning from the hut, I'd say the majority we're going to have skins on, but there are some skins off. So those could be on the skis right away. We're just going to slide them in there because we want to make sure that they fit in there. We've got ski crampons. So everybody needs ski crampons that are designed for the width of your ski. These ones are G3. They go on the G3 binding. Very, very useful. They come in a little bag. Now, when I'm actually using these on and off, I don't put them back in the bag. Part of my glacier rescue kit, I've got a couple of non-locking carabiners, and these will likely just clip on while I'm ski touring uphill, one on each side. I don't like them attached on the same side because they jingle jangle and make too much noise. If they're separated, I can actually take these off, clip them onto the skis while I'm traveling uphill. I don't actually need to take the ski off. So that's super handy. I got my ski crampons, so everybody will need a set of those. A little bag. It's going to help preserve things so they don't get ripped. These are boot crampons. So these ones are super lightweight boot crampons made of aluminum. They just have cord attaching, but ideally the lighter the better. Don't have a pair of steel crampons necessarily just because they're so heavy. You can borrow or buy a set of light aluminum crampons. You'll be a lot happier because we may only use these a couple of times on the whole tour. I nest those in the crampons inside each other there. Put them close to the back so that the weight is close to the back, but the sharp points are away from my back. Yeah, so each morning the huts provide some hot tea. It's called thé de marche, tea of the hike, I guess. So I bring a ½ liter thermos. It's nice hot tea, so it's sweet hot tea. You don't get to choose. It's already made up. And on those hot days, I'm going to have another liter bottle of water, which I'm going to bring with me as well. On those really cold times, I might end up using my mitts, my big Black Diamond Mercury mitts. If we get the kind of trip where the weather's not that bad, I'll probably get by with using some lighter gloves for the whole trip, but certainly I want these just in case. And then there's a few things that go in the lid of the pack. Sunglasses with side shields in a nice case. They're going to go in the top of my pack. Also with my lunch for the day and my snacks. Now, where does the lunch for the day come from? For the first day of the trip, we'll pack up lunch in Chamonix the night before, and that'll just go in the top of your pack. And then while we're out on the Haute Route, day 2, we actually have lunch in Verbier at a cafe. And then for the rest of the trip, we'll get them just to make what they call a picnic, just make up a sandwich. When you get to the hut, they usually do some hot food if anybody's interested as well as a sort of a mid-afternoon lunch. They started at about 2 o'clock. Things like raclette, which is like potatoes and eggs and that kind of thing. Okay, so in this bottom pocket, usually this is where my headlamp goes, and my spot device, GPS signaling, my compass,